Hello, everybody. This is Nick Totero, Professor of Information Technologies and Computer Science, Lakeland Community College. In this very quick video, I want to explore what I call crunching the numbers. Have you ever noticed, or you should start paying attention to certain things? Why if we look in our catalog, Lakeland will say X amount of hours is considered a full-time student. And if you look deeper into the catalog, if you look at different programs, typically each semester in a given program could range anywhere between 14 to maybe 17 or 18 hours. That's not arbitrary. There is a reason why we call those full-time students. Has to do with federal regulations, has to do with state regulations, has to deal with accreditation. But boy, those numbers seem a little arbitrary, but they're not. So in this video, I want to crunch some numbers and expose you to some things you've probably seen, but you may have not thought about. So let's go up to our college catalog. All right. In our current college catalog, you'll see in most college catalogs, they should have this. It says a student carrying a class load of 12 or more credit hours per semester will be classified a full-time student. I'm just looking right here, all right? And then it goes on. And at most colleges, they will have a cap. You can't go above, say, 18 hours without getting special permission. Again, none of these numbers are arbitrary. Now, let's build some math here. Let's just crunch some numbers here. Let me go to, you've probably all seen this, in the portal, the My Lakeland portal. You're scheduling, you're looking for classes for the next semester. We've seen this. Right here, some of us just really kind of pass by that. It becomes almost ubiquitous. We see that so many times, we don't even think about it. It says, it is expected that students will spend 2 to 3 hours minimally, notice that 2 and 3 is in red, outside of the classroom laboratory performing course-related work such as reading, research, homework assignments, practica, studio work, and other academic work for every hour of instruction spent in the classroom. Now they can touch up the verbiage there a little bit. You will also notice it's in all of my syllabuses, is in the back pages of the syllabus. It's the exact same verbiage. You're expected to spend 2 to 3 hours for each hour that the class is meeting or scheduled for or load or whatever you want to call it. So let's do simple math here. If I have if a student is considered a full-time student at 12 hours, and they're expected 2 to 3 hours for that. So we would be looking at a range of additionally 24 to 36 hours, add that to the 12 hours. So the range for 12 hours, you're looking at spending 36 to 48 hours, and I'll do the math, I'll do a spreadsheet, relax, 36 to 48 hours to be of work for that week. That's a full-time job. You know, we consider a full-time job 40 hours a week. Anything over 40 hours a week becomes overtime. Let me show you what this looks like in a little bit more detail, a little more granular detail. I am going to swing this over here. This is my cybersecurity program. It will change over time, so if you're watching this video down the road and it doesn't look the same, but I don't care about the specific program. I can do this with any program. I'm just happy to do it with mine. If you look, semester one, we'll just look at semester one here. Semester one has these particular classes. Here is the hours per class. So semester one, there's 15 hours of class. That's what you would pay for when you go. Semester two is 17, semester three is 15, and then semester four is 17. We do have to keep it at around 60, a little bit more. We can go a little bit more in some situations, but that's why all the associate's degrees are at least 60, maybe a little bit more, but we really try to target that 60. So you kind of figure 15 hours over the course of 4 semesters would be our 60. Ours are a little bit, this example is a little bit more. I threw in some other columns here. And what I did was I called these federal compliance hours. That's what that 2 to 3 really is. It's coming from the Fed saying, you got to prepare your students to let them know it's not just classroom work. It is work outside of the classroom. So if we were to look just at a single 3-hour class, that's the load hours. That's what you're signing up for. So those would be your classroom hours. You're expected additional homework outside of that, 6 to 9 more additional hours for a total of 12 hours a week for that given class. If you go down here, I just kind of summed it up here, 2 to 3 additional hours, be 30 hours. If it's just 2, if it's 3, you're looking at 45. If you add that to this, so for a 15-hour semester, you're looking at a total, not just of classroom, but classroom, homework, whatever, anywhere between 45 to 60 hours of work for that week. Now, that's a full-time job. And yes, that is true. Think about all the homework that you do. Think about all that homework you do. You may go to class, it may be online, it may be hybrid, it might be WSR, but we only meet very short amount of time, or the content that is presented as a lecture could be very short, maybe an hour, hour and a half, maybe 3 hours. Who's to say? But then there's that level of expectation that you are going to do work outside of the classroom. That's a lot of work. That's a full-time job. Let's take a look if it was just 17 hours, the load at 17 hours. You're doing a job between 51 to 68 hours a week for that entire semester. If you're doing part-time work, say you're only taking a class or 2 classes, you work full-time, you have a job, and you work full-time, okay, and you're taking 1 class a semester, great. If you take a 3-hour class in that semester, just taking that 1 3-hour class, you're still expected to probably doing about 9 to 12 hours of work on that class. In other videos, we're going to explore when you should do those hours. Now think about that. Something as simple as a 1-3 credit course, I don't want, or you shouldn't want to start studying or preparing or doing anything on a single day. You're going to run into problems. You got to spread it over. So we crunch some numbers here. Look at the numbers. These are the numbers that they're telling you. 12 hours is a full-time student. Now we understand why 12 would be a full-time student. 12 hours would be 36 to 48 hours a week doing schoolwork, and that's just 12 hours. Most degrees, you're looking at probably around 14 to 15 hours a semester. 15 hours a semester, you're looking at 45 to 60 hours a week total commitment of class time, homework, lab time, total commitment. Plan accordingly. So, go back here. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it opened up your eyes. Please adjust accordingly. Understand the necessity that school is another job, and I commend anybody who goes to school, and I especially commend people who they have a full-time job, they have family responsibility. We all have those responsibilities, even a part-time job. That's outstanding. School is another facet of your life. So this is Nick Totero. Let's go out and learn something.